Fire for your mind. Kosher Clinician.
Happens when lies and false accusations destroy a man's life, and the world is silent until this happens.
Have a conversation. I've been saying for years on this show that black men need to have a conversation, black men alone. We have got to figure out what is going on with us. This is not something that black women can help us with. This conversation does not include black women. Black women, stand down and stand to the side. Black men need to have a kumbaya amongst themselves, and I'm gonna niche this out a little more. And it's heterosexual black men. I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, but I'm gonna say it out loud with my whole chest. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community.
This is the moment Brian Banks was exonerated after spending 5 years in prison. He broke into tears after hearing the verdict. In 2002, Brian was a 16-year-old star linebacker with a full scholarship to USC when a classmate accused him of her. Although he insisted they never had sex, his defense attorney gave him two choices: plead guilty or risk a trial that could send him to prison for life.
If you walk in there right now, they're going to find you guilty because you're a big black teenager.
He went to prison and served 5 years. After being released, his accuser reached out to him on Facebook. He arranged for her to meet with him and a private investigator and secretly recorded the whole thing. She admitted that she didn't want to reveal this publicly, as she didn't want to pay back her $1.5 million settlement that she had gotten after suing the school district.
I don't want to have to pay it back forward, because that will take a long time.
Whole chest. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community.
That's most right. I am the uncle of Emmett Lewis Till. Sunday morning, about 2:30, someone called at the door. And I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "This is Mr. Brian. I want to talk with you and the boy." And when I opened the door, there was a man standing with a pistol in one hand and a flashlight in the other hand. And he asked me, did I have two boys there from Chicago? I told him I have. And he said, I want the boy that done all that talk. And they marched him to the car, and they asked someone there, was this is the right boy? And the answer was, here. And they drove toward money.
Chest. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community.
The video of the chef has been going triple platinum during the Stephon Diggs trial, and honestly, it's kind of diabolical.
And can you just hit pause for a second?
The defense is using this video to say, well, were the injuries ever in the room with nasty work? As of recording this video, the jury has been deliberating for about 45 minutes. And that's honestly longer than I expected. I thought this was going to be a 30-minute verdict, one and done, one way or the other. So the fact that it's taking longer is a good sign. It means they're taking the evidence into consideration. Speaking of which, today the prosecution started their closing argument basically saying, and I may be paraphrasing, over-dramatizing just a little bit, yeah, we didn't like her either. She didn't know what she was talking about. She kept arguing back and forth. She kept doing entirely too much on the stand, but you should still believe her anyway.
Was Miss Adams a perfect witness? No. She was argumentative, avoidant, difficult. But does that mean you should throw away everything she says? She said no.
Black men are not anywhere near the cancer of our community. We did not create slavery. We did not create redlining. We didn't create mass incarceration, underfunded schools, the wage gap, bank deserts, food deserts. We did not create this media machine that keeps people like Andy Cohen and Leor Cohen and let's see here, Jimmy Iovine in the billions. So I'm not going to report for duty, respectfully, under a lie. I'll report for duty to build. I'll report for duty to lead. I'll report for duty to correct men who are wrong. I will report for duty to protect women and children. I'll report to duty to rebuild families and confront broken systems. When we have people like David, when we have people like R. Kelly, when we have people like Diddy, I condemn that situation immediately. But I also condemn Clive Davis. I also condemn Leor Cohen. I also condemn Andy Cohen, Scooter Braun, and everybody who was in charge of perpetuating this thug, gangster, nonsensical mythos of black men that becomes the standard as opposed to the exception, while also elevating a soft beta male scent mangina mentality that does not serve us when it comes to our communities and would not be tolerated in anybody else's community.
Because black, then your consciousness is of one thing. I don't associate with somebody who does to Negroes. I don't deal with them because their consciousness is not black. I don't agree with them because I believe that you can't have a black community unless black men are leading their communities. But when you got a generation of women that conspire with liberal white women, they conspire with maladaptive policies. We're in the situation that we're in now because of that. And when things happen, you have these people that have this pro-black ideology. I call it static blackness. And the presumption is that just because your skin color is black, your consciousness got to be black. But here's the problem with that, DJ Hamp. Black people were never won in Africa.
Should men fight in social and communal wars? When voluntary servitude undermines heteronormative masculinity, here's why it never works.
Tasha K, we've been good since Spoon's wedding. Somehow or another, you got a wild hair up your ass and decided, let me pick shit with Funky Dineva. And why? When people can't access you physically, they will try to access your emotions. Try to keep my peace with you. Okay? But Tasha K, I want you to know this, and you can put this on record. Okay? You can put this on record. The next time I publicly see you, I am going to walk up to you and I'm going to the shit out of you, and then I'm already just throw my setup and be ready to f your husband. And the sad part about it is I actually like your husband a lot. I have no problems with your husband. You, on the other hand, Tasha, you the same raggedy bitch that every time you see
nigga ass, loser ass nigga.
Your video with comments
about a
He's a
certain
loser.
other female. Just to let you niggas know we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings. And most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
You can't.
If you a that's for the streets.
You can't delete the ski. You can't delete the ski.
I know a who used to say
Fire for your mind. The Kosher Clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters, acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. To the 8 that are watching, do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. We're gonna have a good show on today. But I want to talk about something real briefly. I'm not gonna be on this show too long today, guys. Hit the like button, guys. Hype the video, please. Please hype the video. But something happens when men are falsely accused, and I'm sure some of you men that are watching and listening have been falsely accused in the past. And when a man is falsely accused, something devastating happens. He loses his sense of self. He feels powerless. He feels hopeless, and he feels distraught. And one will argue that the same pain that many men that are accused of, the same pain that men go through when they are accused and denigrated as men, is similar to what probably some black men of the past went through. False accusations are part of the landmines that are destroying a lot of men, innocent men. And Stephon Diggs was one of the latest victims of being destroyed or attempted to be destroyed by a so-called black woman. That's why I told you guys, and let me say this real clear, I'm always grateful to honorable women that stand up for what's right. Always grateful for honorable women that call out bad behavior. But I told you guys that many modern women in modern times talk pro-black or talk black while talking white supremacy. And if there are white men that are listening, this channel talks about a myriad of issues in the black community, or so-called black community, because I feel like it's dead and gone. But we know that all men go through false accusations. But when you have a woman that tried to destroy a man because that man told her that he didn't want to be with her or whatever, it's a problem. And the fruitcake by the name of Happy Deneva, whatever his name is, the problem with this guy is that he said that when black men or when men in general can't get what they want for a woman, they crash out and attempt to do violence. Well, guess what? A lot of women do the same thing. But what they do, they use the court system and they use anything they can utilize to destroy, manipulate, and damage the will and the ego of a man. If Stephon Diggs didn't have good lawyers, guys, he would have been in a world of trouble. If he didn't have good lawyers, Stephon Diggs would have been in a world of trouble. But you know, the fruit by the name of Funky Deneva said that, you know, black men are the cancer to the black community. But no, I would differ with that, Funky Deneva, whatever your name is. I would argue that women like the woman that tried to destroy Stephon Diggs is a cancer to the so-called black community. Many women have lied on men. I've been a victim of false accusations. Some of you men that are listening have been victims of false accusations. When they cannot control you, the Jezebel spirit seeks to destroy you. And you can tell that Stephon Diggs was extremely emotional. And one might say, well, he should leave these 304s alone. That's not the point. This woman needs to go to jail because, once again, women like her are the white right hand to white supremacy. They play in and use the same techniques that white supremacists used in the past. They use the power of government to shame, humiliate, and to destroy a man, and particularly black men. And so Stephon Diggs was going to what's called an existentialist threat and an existentialist moment because he was basically trying to figure out, will I get out of this thing alive? And many don't. Many don't have the money of a Stephon Diggs. So they got to bite the bullet. They don't have the money of a Stephon Diggs, so they got to bite the bullet. And that's why sometimes men joking and using satire call women like the women they try to destroy Stephon Diggs, kosherclinician. And I've talked about this guys before in the past on the show that I did. I said that men, I did it 4 years ago, and I'm going to put it up in a minute. And the essence of the show was that black men would not come back until they march. And what I mean by that is that until black women begin to march and go on Capitol Hill and start demanding that they change these draconian laws that hurt and destroy the lives of men like Brian Banks, the attempted desecration of Stephon Diggs, and also other men, then what they're basically saying is that we're no longer going to march. We would not call ourselves being partitioned and calling ourselves being real men like the guy said. He said the real men are not built for this. I tell men all the time, you do not participate in bad behavior. You do not reward bad behavior. If a woman is not respecting you and you can't be the leader in your community, she's not your responsibility. Don't ever feel like you got to be a eunuch for a community that does not honor you and respect you. And that dirty word that many don't like, obey. And so if she's not willing to do that, let her perish. Because once again, kosherclinician is the right hand of white supremacy. She used the same techniques of the white supremacists. No different than the white riders or the night riders of the past. They would use fear tactics, intimidation, and power to destroy innocent men. And she was about to destroy Stephon Diggs if he didn't have the muscle, the power, and the lawyers. Imagine the men in the past that didn't have that. Imagine the average guy that don't have the power, money, and muscle of a Stephon Diggs. What that does to the psyche of a man. What that does to the image of a man. And also with these false allegations, a lot of times, men are always guilty until proven innocent. Once again, this is not a black man issue. This is a man issue in America. But you got so-called pro-blacks telling black men to talk about protect a group of women that in general, I'm not saying all, there's some decent women, but in general don't even honor the men in their community or in their homes. And like I said before, there is no black community. You can't have a black community where you don't have the black man being the leader in his home and his family, or the white man being the leader in his home and his family, or the American man being the leader in his home. You can't talk about protection when the women in your community don't honor and respect you and follow your leadership and obey you. And women like her are dangerous because historically, the kosherclinicians of the world, they want power. But, Funky Geneva, this fruit said that black men are the heterosexual black men are the cancer of the black community. A heterosexual fruit. A fruit said that. And I said jokingly, how can a fruit tell a vegetable how to be a vegetable? How can a fruit tell a vegetable how to be a vegetable, man? Well, we need to have a come by y'all moment. No, we don't. I don't need to talk to you. You're the one that's antithetical to black excellence. Why would I want to have a conversation with you where you're also in the bed with the white supremacists, with the nonsense that you're trying to spew? So you got a lot of men that are suffering in silence. They're broken. They're going through mental health crises because they have been lied on and falsely accused. And as I told you guys before in the past, I've been in that situation before. I've been falsely accused. If you've been falsely accused, I want you to hit the 1. Hit the 1 if you've been falsely accused in the past. Because false accusations can destroy a man. It could destroy the image of a man, it could destroy his psyche, and it can also destroy his mind. When men are falsely accused, a lot of times they can't recover economically. Sometimes they don't recover mentally, because even though they have been exonerated, they're still seen as guilty by so many others. And this is what this woman was attempting to do. She was attempting to extort $5 million from this man. But you got men talking about, standing up and go fight for a community and fight for a group of defective women, compromised women, defective women that don't honor and respect masculinity. That's why I say, that's why I said in America, it's not only white or black men, but there's white men too. But I will argue more so black men. You got defective women. They have been infected by liberalism, and you got compromised men. And they don't know what their power is. And women like KK Keisha are the culprit. They are the culprit. And so how white supremacy destroyed and emasculated black men? Well, I'm going to show it to you guys. And shout out to my homeboy, shout out to my brother, the International Quiet Storm. Got nothing but love and respect for that brother, always showing love. Shout out to the International Quiet Storm for showing love. Shout out to him. He is the #1 sponsor of the stream. Shout out to my young brother, the International Quiet Storm, for that cash app. As the International Quiet Storm is the #1 sponsor of the stream. Got nothing but love and respect for that young brother. He's been a rider from day one. And I got nothing but love and respect for that brother. But let's look at it. The same psychological techniques that KK Keisha is utilizing is no different than how white supremacy was used to humiliate and destroy black men. And I talked about this 4 years ago on a show that I had until they march. I said, don't expect black men to come back to a community until these women march. The problem with what a lot of folks don't understand, the behavior modification. If you don't make a person earn something and put sweat in the game, they'll never appreciate it. Your masculinity is too expensive to give away for free. You don't give your masculinity away for free. You give it away to the women that serve you, respect you, and follow your leadership. But so many men are psychologically broken, they give it away for free. So how do white supremacy destroy and emasculate black men? No different than what KK Keisha is doing. Black men were brutally enslaved, beat, and dehumanized. Families were destroyed. When Funky Dineva, whatever his name is, his fruit, came out and said what he said, he was psychologically dehumanizing a whole race of black men in America. A whole fruit trying to tell an apple, trying to tell a vegetable how to be a vegetable. And that enslavement led to dehumanization, mental and cultural awareness. Propaganda was created to portray black men as subhuman, animalistic, weak, and incapable of leadership. Don't that look familiar now, guys, in the broader Americas? That looks extremely familiar now in the broader Americas. Now, as you guys know, I'm 6'5", and as Quiet Storm always say 6'6" with shoes on. I have been discriminated. I have been falsely accused. I've had people tell me that, I look militant. They told me that I speak very well, or I look, or more or less trying to assume that I'm dangerous. I've had people tell me to minimize my masculinity to make them feel comfortable. And Brian Banks even talked about how he was expected to be less than because he was a big black man. If you're a big black man in America, it reinforces negative stereotypes. The black men are subhuman, dangerous, and they go out here impregnating a bunch of women. They take a small percentage of black men and falsely equivocate all black men with this nonsense. So propaganda was created to portray black men as subhuman, animalistic, weak, and incapable of leadership. And that led to systematic disenfranchisement, the same thing that's going on now. The same systematic disenfranchisement that's going on now. The black community was psyopted. It was psyopted by white liberals, and they went into the black church. Some of these black preachers, they were part of it too. They were hoodwinked. And they got into bed with these white liberals, and they have destroyed the black community, and it has not been the same since. It has not been the same since. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu wrote a book called The School to Prison Pipeline, how they attempt to destroy and to minimize black boys. And what they want you to do is that they want you to bow down to them, kiss the ring, and kiss the gynocratic order. But imagine a so-called black woman using the government to oppress and almost destroy Stephon Diggs' career. No different than Brian Banks. And that's why I told you, men, you cannot call yourselves, I'm trying to fix some community until they march. Or you get with the black women and the white men that are listening, you get with the white women that follow your leadership. The problem with some of you men, you don't know how to lead. You have been compromised. Like I said, most men in America, especially a lot of black men, are compromised because they have been indoctrinated or socialized to think like women. And so you got a generation, as I said earlier, of defective women and compromised men. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But laws and policies were designed to deny black men education, wealth, voting rights, and the ability to protect and provide. When you got people always talking about what black men need to build, why would we be building for a community of so-called women that don't honor or respect the men in their community? A so-called group of women that would jump on board with someone else, and sometimes white men, because they see the average black man or even top-tier black men as inferior or less than. That's why you got women like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant that go around talking about her doctorate with a T on the end, doctorate, and they think that their doctorate and their education alone is sufficient to qualify for a wife. And men don't care about your doctorate. We don't care about your master's or your bachelor's. What we care about is, are you a feminine woman? Are you kind? Are you gracious? Do you have low bodies? Are you a virgin? And do you not have other men kids? I know the masculine men do. I don't know about some of these simps, but I know I do. And so the result of white supremacy led to economic exploitation. Labor without legacy, black men were forced to build empires for others with no power of their own. And then modern manipulation. Divide, distract, and destroy. Media, education, and systems today continue to confuse, distract, and to disempower black men. And it's been going on for a while. It's been going on for a while. Modern manipulation, divide, distract, and destroy. That's been the mantra, or that's been the war cry. Divide, distract, and destroy. Media, education, and systems today continue to confuse, distract, and disempower black men. And they use the same rhetoric as it relates to Stephon Diggs. See black men as dangerous, see black men as being the arbiters of bad behavior. And so black men got to break the chains, reclaim power. The truth, black men are not weak. We are the foundation of a future. We are the future. Reclaim your mind, build your wealth, protect your family, and lead your community. But you cannot build a community in a gynocratic culture. And that's why when people talk about build a community, how are you going to build it? With the same so-called women use the system against you. I'm not saying all do it, but a large portion does do it. So Stephon Diggs and Brian Banks both went through something serious. They became victims of Keisha. Shout out to my man, the International Quiet Storm, as he is the #1 sponsor of the stream. Guys, do me a favor, hype this video. Hype this video, guys. Go hype this video and share it with like-minded men, as the International Quiet Storm is the #1 sponsor of the stream.
It's the money.
Let me read some of these comments real quick, guys. Shout out to the people that are donating. Shout out to my brother Gregory Scotland in the house. Looking at the comments, several men have been falsely accused. Herman, He-Man, false accusation. Winston Wilson, false accusations. He said 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I haven't been right spiritually. Wow, man. Wow. I want you to talk about that quiet storm if you don't mind. Shout out to my brother Gregory Scotland. It's been a minute. Glad to see you, brother Gregory. He said, salute, coach. I've always appreciated I've always appreciated that when you have been on panels or done a collaboration that you express that you are you are not going to save a so-called black community. Many want productive black men to give. Yes, they want taxation without representation. What I talked about last week, Gregory, is an ego defense mechanism called undoing. But there's a concept called healthy undoing, and there's also a concept called unhealthy undoing. And when you're doing things and trying to undo things just for the sake of appeasing people, it becomes a problem. It becomes a serious problem. It becomes a serious problem. And so KK Keisha, once again, she's the right hand of white supremacy. She's the right hand. Gregory Scotland said that, sorry, coach, I meant you would express that you are not saving. No, you can't. You can't reward bad behavior, Brother Gregory. You can't reward bad behavior. And that's what black men in America have been commissioned to do. Just because your skin color is black does not mean your consciousness is black. I talked about that when I was on the show with DJ Hemp. Just because your skin color is black, it don't mean that you care about black excellence or you care about doing what's right. Because so many black women were co-opted by white liberals, they saw themselves as a separate entity outside of black excellence, black love, and black unity. They put their own agenda first. And they put the agenda of the black man on the back burner. And now when things are getting bad, when the economy is crashing, now they talk about black community. They went from survival to freedom back to survival again. Survival, freedom, back to survival again. And now they want to sing that song by LTD, talking about some love together and devotion. They want love together and devotion now. Because some of them realize that things is in trouble. They want love together and devotion now. They want to sing that song by LTD called Love Together and Devotion, because they went from survival when we were working together and striving to build legacy and infrastructure to freedom, now back to survival again. And they falsely equivocate all black men of that generation as being violent, dangerous, and also abusive and having a bunch of kids, instead of saying there were some that did it. They don't ever add nuance to the conversation, because what it does, it paints a false narrative. And you got a lot of KK Keishas in the world. You have Quiet Storm said, I was falsely accused at my job because I rejected the advances of a black woman. She couldn't handle the rejection, so she told HR I harassed her. I was suspended from my job by HR for 72 hours. Wow. Well, not to minimize yours, Quiet Storm. I had a black woman, so-called black woman. So one time I was doing some temp work. I was doing temp work in my profession. And somehow somebody went and lied and said I said something inappropriate. I didn't know who it was. It didn't tell me who it was. I lost that position. I had a black woman that I thought was a godly woman. She was a fat chick with tube socks on. Looked like a backyardigan. I gave this woman clothes. I gave her kids clothes. And I lost my position as a teacher. It was devastating, man. I lost my position as a teacher. Because she went to the white man, the white principal. There was a man, lied to him. Now, here I am, a licensed teacher. She would always tell me, Quiet Storm, and to the brothers that are listening, that I spoke, I was arrogant. See, women like her want black men to be subjugated to them. I've had other white black women tell me when I was in education or academia, I use big words, or you're arrogant, because they want servile, docile black men that have low self-esteem, not competent, healthy, masculine men that speak truth to power, won't bow, and say what they need to say. And nowadays, when I deal with these kind of women, I just bypass them. I ain't got time to be arguing with the fool, because don't ever test my gangster. And a lot of times they do test it. So the woman went back to the principal. The principal told me to let the woman do my paperwork. And I was baffled, man. Let her do my paperwork. She's not a licensed teacher. But what it was, she wanted power because she didn't have no power in her home. And she saw me as a threat. And I was devastated because my wife was about to have our last child. And I lost my job as a teacher, man. I could go into one of the other counties and teach, but I was devastated because I was making pretty good money back then, man. Back in 2009, I was probably making about $45,000. That was good money in 2009. That's been almost 20 years ago. So it was devastating. Over 21 years ago, it was devastating. But a so-called black woman, but you got these pro-blacks, these slow tips telling you save a community. And this any randomized woman that's been indoctrinated by a liberal dogma, you're supposed to save her. And it destroyed me. I was traumatized by that, man. And I can only imagine what Stephon Diggs was going through. I've been doing so much now, I'm immune to it. I'm like a honey badger. It bothers me, but it don't really bother me anymore, man. Even when I was in graduate school, I almost didn't graduate. Not because I did nothing wrong, but they didn't like me because I was outspoken. And guess who was trying to get me in trouble? A black woman went to the white man, told the white man I wasn't doing something. So they are the right hand to white supremacy. They use control, power, manipulation, and intimidation to get you to bend to their will. No different than what the white supremacists did years ago. The Quiet Storm said, if it wasn't for another co-worker in the office, I would have been fired by the end of the next week. She never got punished, right? But she got a promotion and resigned to another department. Yeah, right. No accountability. But you got men telling you, talking about go in and go save a community. Save what? You cannot reward bad behavior. You cannot change bad behavior by rewarding bad behavior. You cannot tell men to undo something they never done. You can expect a large percentage of innocent men to say something they never done, all in the name of blackness, which is what I call racialized idolatry. In Africa, black folks weren't unified. The tribes in Africa didn't believe in the same things. They only got with people that thought the way they thought. That's why I say everybody's not from your tribe. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. I'm not going to align myself with somebody that have been highly defective mentally because they've been indoctrinated by these liberal policies and these liberal dogmas. I'm not aligning myself with that. I refuse to line myself up with that because it doesn't benefit anything. Never have benefited anything. Then how am I wrong? You avoided my comment. You only making my point. Are you talking to me, New York Black? I don't know who you're talking to. You have to elaborate. I'm not avoiding you. I just saw this comment. Maybe you're not talking to me. I don't know. Oh, here you go. You said the only solution is to withhold respect from black women. Unless she show you respect, otherwise you should stay away from her. It's that bad. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. You're 100% correct. I'm not going to categorize all of them that way, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. Now, guys, if you want me to read a comment, make sure you guys send a super chat. If you want me to read a comment, please. But you are correct. I don't disagree with that, brother. I agree with you 100%. Let's get into this. Hold tight.
With us, this is not something that black women can help us with. This conversation does not include black women. Black women stand down and stand to the side. Black men need to have a kumbaya amongst themselves. And I'm going to niche this out a little more. And it's
black men need to have a kumbaya with the fruit. Black men need to have a kumbaya with a fruit telling a vegetable how to be a vegetable. Make it make sense. But yet you don't say anything. Brian Banks basically would have been in jail for over 40 years off a lie, a false accusation. And a lot of men have been psychologically destroyed, have been traumatized due to false allegations and false accusations.
Heterosexual black men. I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, but I'm gonna say it out loud with my whole chest. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community.
This is the moment Brian Banks was exonerated after spending 5 years in prison. He broke into...
And Victor Augustine is correct. When you want to help people, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you tell them what they want to hear. And I refuse to do it. And I've gotten in a lot of trouble. I lost a lot of money and potential because I can't be fake with people, man.
Tears after hearing the verdict. In 2002, Brian was a 16-year-old star linebacker with a full scholarship to USC when a classmate accused him of her. Although he insisted they never had sex, his defense attorney gave him two choices: plead guilty or risk a trial that could send him to prison for life.
If you walk in there right now, they're going to find you guilty because you're a big black teenager.
He went...
Listen to what he just said, because you're a big black teenager. Don't that sound like white supremacy? Don't that sound like something you black men have been through, some of the white men are listening to have been through it too? If you're a good woman, I'm not talking to you. If you're a good woman, I'm not talking to you. But at the same time, if you're standing on the sidelines, if you're not marching with black men or white men that have been involved in false accusations, then you also are part of the problem. You are complicit if you're silent. You're just as guilty. Because when you see men get destroyed, if you got sons especially, you need to speak out. But if you're silent on the sideline and not saying anything, you're just as guilty.
Went to prison and served 5 years. After being released, his accuser reached out to him on Facebook. He arranged for her to meet with him and a private investigator and secretly recorded the whole thing. She admitted that she didn't want to reveal this publicly, as she didn't want to pay back her $1.5 million settlement that she had gotten after...
A $1.5 million settlement. This woman was willing to let this man rot in prison. She was willing to let this man rot in prison. All because she didn't want to come forward with telling the truth. Brian Banks was never the same because he never got the money that he could have gotten. All because of this lying hyena. All because of this lying woman that chose her own selfishness over others. Shout out to my man, Revelator Spirit of Indifference, for that super chat on Cash App. Thank you, Revelator. Thank you, brother, for that $5. Thank you, Revelator, for being kind, man. I really appreciate that, brother. Thank you, sir. Yeah, appreciate it, Quiet Storm. Yeah, you got that subscriber count moving up. Congrats on the 22. Yeah, I did one stream, man. I did one short. That short got like almost 140,000 views. Got about 500 subs from that one short, man. Revelator said that, and that's why it's virtually all of them. The solid ones are the complicit ones. Yes, I totally agree. First he said black men, then he only focused on straight black men. Yeah. And thanks again, Quiet Storm. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, it's been a lot of work, man.
Suing the school district.
I don't want to have to pay it back all that, because that will take...
If a woman lies on a man and destroys him financially and destroys him emotionally, should that woman be forced to go to prison? Should she go to jail and pay for the penalty? But that's why I get so angry with these so-called black nationalists that believe in black love and black community. Because the women that seek to destroy black men, nothing happens to them. Most men are guilty until proven innocent. They're not given prima facie, which is blind justice, guilty until proven innocent. They are guilty. They're not innocent until proven guilty. They're guilty until they can be proven innocent. And it can destroy a person, man, especially when your livelihood is on the line, or you got kids in a family, or you could lose your livelihood, especially if you work hard for years. Imagine Quiet Storm could have lost merit on his job, all on a false accusation. But Funky Daniva said, the Fruit said that black men got fragile egos. We got fragile egos.
A long time.
Whole chest. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community.
That's most right. I am the uncle of Emmett Lewis.
Shout out to my man Cliff God. Just paying my tuition. This is one of my favorite challenges on Black YouTube, man. I appreciate that, Cliff. Thank you, brother Cliff, for showing love, man. That means the world to me, man. I really appreciate that, man. Those words, those kind words mean the world to me. And thank you. I'm honored by those kind words, and I'm honored by your thoughtful gestures, and also honored by you taking the time to tap in and listen to the Kosher Clinician, and also pay your tuition, man. Thank you so much, and thank you kindly, Cliff Gadget guy. I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. And so men like Brian Banks lost their life, but the greatest example was Emmett Till. He lost his life years ago and was destroyed by white supremacists, never to see the brightness of day again, all because he was a young black boy.
Louis Till. Sunday morning about 2:30, someone called at the door. And I said, who is it? And he said, this is Mr. Brian. I want to talk with you and the boy. And when I opened the door, there was a man standing with a pistol in one hand and a flashlight in the other hand. And he asked me, did I have two boys there from Chicago? I told him I have. And he said, I want the boy that done all that talk. And they marched him to the car, and they asked someone there, was this is the right boy? And the answer was, yes. And they drove toward money.
Chest. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community.
The video of the chef has been going triple platinum during the Stephon Diggs trial, and honestly, it's kind of diabolical.
And can you just hit pause for a second?
And this bird brain right here was tap dancing like Rumpelstiltskin in Grimm's fairy tales, because she just knew she was about to get a bag. She was dancing and bojangling because she just knew that she was about to get a bag. She just knew it. She was happy. KK Keisha was dancing and happy because she wanted a bag. Didn't care about Stephon Diggs. Only cared about herself. Don't have no ethics and no morality. But yet you got this fruit talking about black men are the cancer to the community. And we got fragile egos. But a woman will go to extremes to destroy Brian Banks and let that man rot in jail. She basically did. If you let a man rot in prison for something you know he hasn't done, you basically have killed that man.
The defense is using this video to say, well, were the injuries ever in the room with nasty work? As of recording this video, the jury has been deliberating for about 45 minutes. And that's honestly longer than I expected. I thought this was going to be a 30-minute verdict, one and done, one way or the other. So the fact that it's taking longer is a good sign. It means they're taking the evidence into consideration. Speaking of which, today the prosecution started their closing argument basically saying, and I may be paraphrasing, over-dramatizing just a little bit, yeah, we didn't like her either. She didn't know what she was talking about. She kept arguing back and forth. She kept doing entirely too much on the stand, but you should still believe her anyway.
Was Miss Adams a perfect witness? No. She was argumentative, avoided, difficult. But does that mean you should throw away everything she says? She said no.
Black men are not.
And shout out to my man Dave Anderson. He did a perfect soliloquy, a perfect composition about what he said, because this has been the war cry and the assault against black men for the last 200 years or more. The Quiet Storm said the answer is yes, she should pay all illegal fees that wasted time and clogged up the court for people who actually need it. Yes, she should pay it, but she also should be gone to jail. And this goes back to what I was saying about your masculinity is too expensive. I don't believe in cleaning up no black community unless black men get something in return. It got to be something collateral. I don't believe in this nonsense about this manning up for the sake of manning up. You know, this job is hard. I'm not doing it. I'm not manning up for nobody. If you're strong and independent and you're better than black men because you got your doctorate with a T on the end, then you fix it. But I'm not giving my time, attention, or resource to nobody. Like the old folks say, not nay one. And neither should you, because what you're doing, you are reinforcing bad behavior. When you give your masculinity away for free without demanding something in return, you are reinforcing bad behavior. You only protect women that honor you, respect you, and obey your leadership. If she's not going to do that, then let her perish. Let her perish. The Israelites, listen, Moses said, whoever's on the Lord's side, let them come forth. I'm going to do a show on that next. But even in Israel, the righteous Israelites, they were spared. The unrighteous Israelites, they perished. You cannot reward bad behavior and then expect things to change for the good. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Anywhere near the cancer of our community. We did not create slavery. We did not create redlining. We didn't create mass incarceration, underfunded schools, the wage gap, bank deserts, food deserts. We did not create this media machine that keeps people like Andy Cohen and Leor Cohen and let's see here, Jimmy Iovine in the billions. So I'm not going to report for duty respectfully under a lie.
And he's right. This is the perpetuation of false narratives and false stereotypes. This is the perpetuation of false narratives and false stereotypes. And I agree with Dave Vanis. These tropes have been utilized for years to assail the image of black men of African descent.
I'll report for duty to build. I'll report for duty to lead. I'll report for duty to correct men who are wrong. I will report for duty to protect women and children. I'll report to duty to rebuild families and confront broken systems. When we have people like David, when we have people like R. Kelly, when we have people like Diddy, I condemn that situation immediately. But I also condemn Clive Davis. I also condemn Leor Cohen. I also condemn Andy Cohen, Scooter Braun, and everybody who is in charge of perpetuating this thug, gangster, nonsensical mythos of black men that becomes the standard as opposed to the exception, while also elevating a soft beta male scent mangina mentality that does not serve us when it comes to our communities and would not be tolerated in anybody else's community.
Because black, then your consciousness is of one thing. I don't associate with some of these dusty Negroes. And this dusty Negro right beside me in the middle got slick with his mouth. I would never associate with nobody like Taz. I would never give him my time or grace because he is a compromised man. He's compromised. Anytime another man disagree with you, you start hurling out insults. The dude's so dusty, man. If you hit him with a basketball, the dust coins will fly out of him. But I have no respect for people like that. People like him is the reason why this so-called community is destroyed. He's part of the problem. Don't deal with it because their consciousness is not black. I don't agree with them because I believe that you can't have a black community unless black men are leading their communities. But when you got a generation of women who conspire with liberal white women, they conspire with maladaptive policies. We're in the situation that we're in now because of that. And when things happen, you have these people that have this pro-black ideology. I call it static blackness. And the presumption is that just because your skin color is black, your consciousness got to be black. But here's the problem with that, DJ Hamp. Black people were never won in Africa.
Should men fight in social and communal wars? When voluntary servitude undermines heteronormative masculinity, here's why it never works.
Tasha K, we've been good since Spoon's wedding. Somehow or another, you got a wild hair up your ass and decided, let me pick shit with Funky Dineva. And why? When people can't access you physically, they will try to access your emotions.
Yeah, Quiet Storm. You can smell dust. If you saw Sonic the Hedgehog You could take one of those bowling balls and hit that clown, and dust will come out of him. His camera lens looks like dust. His voice sounds like he got dust in him. The only thing he want to do is a sale. And if you don't think just like him, what I call this static blackness or this racialized idolatry when it comes down to this being black, you're supposed to support somebody just because their skin color is black. But yeah, he won't do the same thing to a black woman because he's a simp.
Tried to keep my peace with you, okay? But Tasha K, I want you to know this, and you can put this on record.
So once again, a fruit trying to tell black men how to be masculine men. Let me show you guys something, because I did a video years ago, but I want to get back to Brother Brian, the Brian Banks story. And then we'll get to Stephon Diggs too. Hold tight.
Yeah, I lost it all. So I get this, to make a long story short, we recover it 60%. I got
it. Imagine almost losing everything you work hard for, guys. Imagine almost losing everything you work hard for. Imagine that.
And now I'm on this frantic search for an attorney who's going to help me appeal this case. I'm digging, I'm filing, I'm emailing everybody, I'm calling everybody. And everybody's like ignoring it, not taking it serious. No one will take the calls, no one will answer. I had reached out to an organization called the California Innocence Project. Now, fast forward, I have this video. And after reaching out to so many different attorneys, I reach out to them once more. And I said, please, if you just watch the video, you'll see for yourself. And there's a lady in that office at the California Innocence Project at the time. She answered the call. And she said, okay, I'll meet you to look at the video. I'll bring one of the lawyers with me. She was nice. So to make a long story short, I showed them the video. They took on my case. So before we took it to the judge, what we decided to do was take it to the media. If we put it out there to the world, then there's no way that the courts could sweep this under the rug, no matter what the technicalities are, because the video is so damaging for her, because she's literally admitting to everything while laughing about it, you know? So we went to the media.
Admitting to everything, guys, while laughing about it. Think about the trauma this poor man went through. Imagine the trauma this poor man went through. But we wonder why behaviors don't change.
Which was basically me showing the world that I came in contact with the supposed victim, which is an automatic violation of my parole, and my parole officer could send me to prison for it. So we put together this big interview, this big scoop. It was one of the big news networks in LA. And the reporter, his name is Randy Page. God bless him. He stuck with me through the whole process of getting my case turned over. But we put it out there, and literally that night, phone rang. As soon as it aired, it was my parole officer. Just saw your ass on TV. Come to my office in the morning. Like, fuck, going to jail. I get to the office in the morning. He's hot. He's going off. You know, this and that. He's going off. I'm thinking I'm about to go to jail. And at the end of his rant, he's like, you know, you're lucky my boss and these people saw it too. And they believe you. So what we're going to do is, what they told me to do is to basically remodify your parole conditions that state you can't come into contact with the supposed victim at all unless it's court related. And so they basically created a loophole for me, the parole office did, that kept me from going back to jail for coming in contact with her. Basically, us going to the media helped me more in
And look at all the hoops Brian Banks had to jump through, guys. Look at all the hoops he had to jump through, all this psychological warfare he went through trying to defend his name. But yet you wonder why we're in the predicament that we're in now, where there's no accountability for women that destroy the lives of men. But you got dust mites like Taz that say that the manosphere is the problem. or encapsulate or inculcate all people that talk about men issues as being bad. A dust mite, a whole dust mite at that.
And the situation didn't anything because it put everybody in a position where they couldn't ignore what they saw.
And so shout out to Brian Banks. Thank God that he was exonerated. But everybody don't get the opportunity like Brian Banks. A lot of men have lost their lives and their livelihoods due to false accusations.
Yeah, I lost it all. So I get this, to make a long story short, we recover it 60%. I got it. And now I'm on this frantic search for an attorney who's going to help me appeal this case. I'm dead. Sweep this under the rug no matter what the technicalities are, because the video is so damaging for her because she's literally admitting to everything while laughing about it, you know? So we went to the media, which was basically me showing the world that I came in contact with the supposed victim, which is an automatic violation of my parole, and my parole officer could send me to prison for it. So we put together this big interview, this big scoop. It was one of the big news networks in LA. And the reporter, his name is Randy Page. God bless him. He stuck with me through the whole process of getting my case turned over. But we put it out there, and literally that night,
I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't wish that on nobody. I don't wish that kind of pain on nobody, man. The fact you could be going to jail and spend a large amount of time in prison, of your life in prison, that's damaging, man. I don't wish that pain on no man, white or black.
Phone rang. As soon as it aired, it was my parole officer. Just saw your ass on TV. Come to my office in the morning. Like, fuck, going to jail. That state, you can't come in.
All right, so I just played some of that. Let me show y'all the next clip. This is the Stephon Diggs clip, I think. Hold on.
To the funeral home about 3 blocks.
And so the most famous one that was destroyed was Emmett Till. This is Mamie Till, the mother of Emmett Till. Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Till, explains her son, explains that she saw her son's body after he was deleted. So when you got black women that call themselves pro-family and pro-community, and they align with the government to destroy black men because they can't control them, or those black men won't be with them, they are psychologically destroying innocent men. And Emmett Till was the first victim of white supremacy.
Back to the funeral home about 3 blocks away, an odor met me that nearly knocked me out. I said, what on earth in the world is that? It was Emmett's body. That's how the smell was so strong until it covered a 2 or 3 block area. My father was on one side of me, and Rayfield Moody was on the other side of me, and Jean was at my back. And I shrugged them. I said, turn me loose. I've got a job to do, and I don't have time to be fainting now. I saw his tongue had been choked out, and it was lying down on his chin. I saw that this eye was out, and it was lying about midway the cheek. I looked at this eye, and it was gone. I looked at the bridge of his nose.
All on false accusations. All on false accusations. The destruction that a man goes through, and sadly, Emmett Till never lived to see the light of day. But you got KK Keisha causing discord and trying to get men destroyed and lying on men because they align themselves with white liberals, white feminists, which all entails adages of white supremacy. They're all in the bed. is to subvert, destroy, and control.
And it looked like someone had taken a meat chopper and chopped it. And I looked at his teeth because I took so much pride in his teeth. His teeth were the prettiest things I'd ever seen in my life, I thought. And I only saw 2. Where are the rest of them? They'd just been knocked out. And I was looking at his ears. His ears were like mine. They curled. They're not attached, and they curled up. The same way mine are. And I didn't see the ear. Where's the ear? And that's when I discovered a hole about here, and I could see daylight on the other side. I said, now, was it necessary to shoot it? If that's a bullet hole, was that necessary? And I also discovered that they had...
Think you know Black history? Think again. Unlock the untold stories and groundbreaking achievements that are not often taught in school with Black History Unlocked must-have digital PDF.
All right, so Emmett Till's life was destroyed.
Okay, you can put this on record.
Emmett Till's life was destroyed all on false accusations. And some of you men that are listening have been through false accusations. It has destroyed you psychologically. It's destroyed you financially. And also it has destroyed you emotionally. And like I said, I don't wish that on nobody. I don't wish it on nobody.
And Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs is in trouble with the law tonight.
Diggs is now facing charges of felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. On February 13th, you issued a public statement, didn't you? Yes. And in that public statement, you said, I have never sought money to settle this matter, right? Ms. Adams, 3 weeks ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from Stephon Diggs, correct?
And look at this so-called queen trying to extort money from Stephon Diggs. That's why I tell you men, never fall in love. Don't fall. Because when you fall, you're telegraphing your own destruction. I didn't say you can love your woman. You love her within reason. But you never fall. Because society does not protect men, white or black. And once again, black women got, a lot of black women got part of a war they had nothing to do with. White women that fought against their own men, that was their problem. Black men and black women, they have nothing to do with that. Black men and black women were mules. And now, when white America get a cold, black America get the flu. And, you know, I'm not against folks expecting a renaissance, but I don't see it in our lifetime, man. We're in the last days. We're in the latter part of the last days. I just don't see it. It would take generations, in my opinion, for things to get back to normalcy again. Because you can't have masculinity in a gynocratic culture. You can't have a patriarchy when the laws are anti-patriarchal. You can't have a patriarchy when the laws are, and when the academia is anti-male and anti-male leadership. So, you know, you can keep wishing, you know, some of y'all be dead, old, talking about, you know, coming together. Now, I do believe for the women that listen, the women that are righteous, the women that want to follow equitable men, then you get with those women. It's a remnant out there. Go get with the remnant women. It's not a lot. But you go align yourself with remnant women that understand the assignment and they're going to follow your leadership and respect you as a man. You get with those women. But dusty black men that cause chaos in the community, disassociate yourself with those men. Disassociate yourself with liberal indoctrinated black women as well. You need to disassociate yourself with those people because those people are defective. You do not want to reward bad behavior because that's antithetical when it comes down to behavior modification. You reward good behavior. In a healthy relationship, she benefits and you benefit. Sadly, many times in relationships now, she's the only one that benefits. And you got a lot of men giving their power away for free. They don't ask for anything, and neither do they demand anything. Because many have low self-esteem and they see themselves as less than.
That is client lawyer privilege. I cannot speak on that.
You believe that your lawyer's communications to Stefan Diggs are covered by your attorney-client privilege, ma'am?
I can't answer that question.
Moments later,
Madam Forelady, has the jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
On count 1, strangulation or suffocation, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On count 2, the charge of assault and battery, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Madam Forelady, members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
Stefan Diggs lost a $69 million contract because this woman lied about being assaulted, and now the jury's come back and said she's a damn liar. From this video sponsor, ZocDoc. Okay, raise your hand if you've been putting off doctor's appointments, dental cleanings, annual checkups, eye exam. Yeah, my hand's raised too. Free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality phone tag, no waiting around. Appointments through ZocDoc happen.
And she ain't the only one that's done it. Rhoda Osmond did it. Y'all remember Rhoda Osmond, whatever that woman name was. Lied on black men. And they all joined together to accost and associate black men with something negative. But when they found out the black men were innocent, or those men were innocent, nobody came back to rescue them or said they were sorry or they apologized, because there's never accountability. Never any accountability.
What did you respond to Stefan on December 11th?
Hold tight. Never any accountability or responsibility.
News out of the NFL here on Tuesday, where Stefan Diggs has agreed to a 3-year, $69 million contract with the Patriots. That's been confirmed by our Jonathan Jones. The deal includes $26 million guaranteed. The former All-Pro wideout spent last season with the Texans, suffering a season-ending torn ACL in late October. It's still unknown whether Diggs will be ready for Week 1 of this regular season.
So as you see, Stefan Diggs, one of the top wide receivers in the year, just signed this huge multi-million-dollar contract.
And let me tell you something, man. As you continue to grow and mature as a man, you're going to have a target on your back. If you don't have a lot of experience with women and you're suffering from ego deprivation, you're going to have a target on your back. That's why I tell men, do not get in relationships without signing a comprehensive prenup or signing NDAs. Because a typical modern woman does not have your best interest at heart. I'm not saying there are not some diamonds out here. There are some diamonds in the rough that are good women, but it's just too risky. I've seen the pain and the brokenness that men have experienced in therapy. And you don't want to put yourself in that predicament.
Things are going well for him and the Patriots until his former chef said he tried to strangle her.
Quick toss. Catch made. Diggs has a touchdown. Tonight, Stefan Diggs facing accusations that could land him in prison. The Patriots stand out $69 million.
Imagine a $69 million man could have went to prison only on false accusations. Me too. It should be something in the law that says if you lie on a man, then you're going to get whatever the penalty was that you said the man did. So if that man was looking to be doing 60 years, then that woman should get 60 years. But the problem is there's no accountability when it comes down to women in America. No accountability, white or black. All because she was trying to extort money from this man because he probably had intimacy with her and kicked her to the curb.
$1 million wide receiver has been instrumental in the team's turnaround success this year. Has been called one of the greatest free agent signings in Patriots history. Diggs is now facing charges of felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery. This stems from an incident on December 2nd. In newly released court documents, a woman who worked as Diggs' private chef says during an ongoing text exchange about money owed, Diggs became angry and smacked her across the face. She says Diggs then tried to choke her using the crook of his elbow around her neck and held her until she felt like she could have blacked out. The New England Patriots said in a statement that Stephon categorically denies the allegations. We support Stephon.
Stephon Diggs diving for the pylon. Touchdown!
Diggs is a star on and off the field. He leads the team in catches and yards, and he and his girlfriend, rapper Cardi B, recently welcomed a child together. These allegations come as the Patriots have one of the best records in the NFL and are playoff bound.
So now, we live in the woke world. So that means if you're an athlete and a woman randomly accuses you of a crime, you automatically lose your million.
You automatically lose your millions. Look at what happened to Michael Irvin. But yet you got folks telling black men to go back and fight in a system, in a community, in a system that not only punishes black men, but other men as well. But because black men have always been discriminated minorities, we get it worse. Michael Irvin almost lost his money on false accusations. It's baffling that somebody can have that much power. But yet this so-called patriarchy they're talking about gave them the power to oppress innocent men. The so-called patriarchy that black men never had, because black men never had a patriarchy. If it was a patriarchy, it was a quasi-patriarchy, meaning it was not a pure patriarchy, because a true patriarchy starts at the policy level.
$1 contracts. As an example, remember the story of Matt Ariza, the Buffalo Bills punter? He was accused by this woman of assaulting her at a party.
My body counts over 20. I'm only 18.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
My first body is like 15.
Like, how old were you?
14. I'm only 18.
Over 20?
I mean, I ate somebody's ass before, but that's only because they wanted it.
Now, after that woman made her allegations, Matt Ariza's $1 million contract was voided and he was fired by the Buffalo Bills.
Ariza has always denied his involvement in that alleged at a 2021 party, and now new evidence from prosecutors show he left the party an hour before the assault happened.
Came back up again recently because of this 220-page transcript in which prosecutors explained to the alleged victim that Ariza had left the party at which the alleged gang occurred an hour before it happened. So that has created...
And I'm going to tell you, women, they love to keep lying on men and falsely accusing them. You're playing on dangerous territory. And I'm not advocating domestic violence or homicide. Please hear me. But every man ain't going to tolerate you lying on them. Some men will snap and they will take your life. And so you can keep lying on innocent men. Some men are going to say, you know what? I ain't got nothing to lose. And they're going to take your life. So I would say buyer beware and also play at your own risk, because every man ain't going to tolerate that nonsense.
A firestorm of its own.
You see what I mean? Accusations meant convictions, and Matt Ariza fell victim to that, even though now he's back in the NFL, but his contract was destroyed. His life was almost destroyed because some random person off the street just made a wild allegation and he wasn't even in the building. So you would think the NFL would have learned from that mistake. But no, they didn't, because when it came to Stephon Diggs, well, let's cut his contract because some random woman has alleged that.
Think about that. White men or black men, but especially black men in America, you can lose everything that you've earned on a false accusation. And even if you are found innocent, your name is already tarnished. You can never recover your image again. But you wonder why so many men are reluctant to get married or they don't want to be around women. And to you women that are listening, unless you raise your voice and amplify your voice and march in solidarity and go to the legislature and start demanding that innocent black men be protected or men be protected, then you're just as guilty as the women that are trying to destroy these innocent men. Because some of you got sons too. And don't be surprised when somebody have a false accusation towards your son.
He did something to him.
Speaking of talking about something, huge news out of New England. The New England Patriots have informed Stephon Diggs that he will be released after the start of the league year.
So the rest of that $69 million contract is gone, but he still has to go to trial. He's facing 5.
But you got dust mites talking about the manosphere. the manosphere. Hate black women. The manosphere is anti-community. The manosphere is the problem. The manosphere is just a response to injustice and unfairness and biasness and inequities. The manosphere is just a response. It's not the problem. I assure you it's not the problem. It's not the problem. There was no manosphere back in the 90s. There was no manosphere back in the 80s. There was no such thing as a manosphere. Men have always been lovers and protectors of women. Do you have some violent, dangerous men that have been dangerous? Yes. That's called the human condition. But by and large, most men are good men. And when you see this evil perpetuated in the media, then it makes you question how innocent and kind women are. Shout out to my man, St. James Palmer, my brother all the way from NYC. Shout out to that brother. Good brother. Got nothing but love for him. It's St. James Palmer. It's the #1 sponsor to string him in the International Quiet Storm. Shout out to St. James Palmer for that $20 cash out. Good brother, as he's one of the #1 sponsors of the string.
It's the money.
All right. I got another video. Let's look at the next one. We're going to go through these real fast. Because you're looking at how...
Now at noon, jury selection begins in the trial of former New England Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs. He's accused of attacking his former private chef over an alleged pay dispute.
Now, let's recap how we got to trial. This is...
And how many of you men have heard the saying, the hell has no fury like a woman scorned? Shout out to my man, Lord Love Smith for that $10 super chat. Shout out to my man, Lord Love Smith for that $10 super chat. Thank you kindly, sir, for that $10 super chat, man. Thank you, sir, for your kindness. I really appreciate that. I'm very kind of you, man. I really appreciate that. And also to all the brothers that are showing love on tonight, thank you so much as we break down these conversations of men, innocent men, black and white, but particularly black men, as black men have always been part of the victim class in America.
Jamila Adams, and she claimed that on December 2nd, she was attacked by millionaire wide receiver Stefon Diggs. She said that Diggs entered her bedroom, smacked her across the face, and then tried to strangle her. Now, this case was essentially a he said, she said case. There were no eyewitnesses to the event because she said that it was just her and Stefon Diggs. There was no video of the incident. And then you would expect other things, like if somebody strangled you to death and slapping you in the face, you'd have some injuries, but there were no photos of injuries. There was no documented injuries anywhere. And there was actually no contemporaneous reporting of the injury. She reported it 2 weeks later. But that didn't stop prosecutors. He's a man, she's a woman, she's saying this happened to her, so he's got to be guilty. We're going to take him to trial. So prosecutors needed the jury to believe the alleged victim in this case. And if she got caught up in a lot of lies, then obviously he's going to be found not guilty. So the alleged victim went and testified, and she was caught in a whole bunch of lies. So first we'll start with she changed her story. Initially, she told police that the fight was about money. She was asking to get paid, and he flipped out and attacked her. But at trial, she told the prosecutor that the fight was about being excluded from a Miami trip.
What you said to Officer Ellis when you reported this crime, this so-called crime, is that you had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to you.
Yes.
You told the police officer who filed the criminal complaint in this case, based on your word, that your fight with Mr. Diggs on December 2nd was over money. True?
Yes.
Except you just testified under oath to this jury.
A so-called queen, guys. A so-called queen trying to extort $5 million from Stefon Diggs. Y'all got to stop underestimating the power of women. Women can be highly manipulative. And I will argue they're more dangerous because they use crocodile tears to manipulate and control others. Most women won't fight a man one-on-one because the average woman will lose her life to the average man. Now, are there some women that can take out other men? Yes. There are some women that can do it. But they use manipulation, they use tears, they use their bodies to control men. They play on your emotions because they know that men are the natural lovers. Men by nature are more romantic. Men are the romanticiers. Have always been the romanticiers. And you're right, Stephen Feldman. I agree with you 100%, sir. She needs to be put away. She needs to be thrown in jail. And I'm going to tell you something, man, white or black, you need to start coming together and start marching and going to your legislators and start demanding that men's rights be protected. But they got the nerve to talk about the manosphere is the problem. No, the manosphere is not the problem. It's women like her that's the problem. And you women that don't say anything about it, you're just as bad. You're just as bad as her.
That you didn't start talking about money until December 5th, right? What did you say?
So then the defense attorney said, I'll ask you again, since you just testified that the fight was over the Miami trip and not about payments. So here was her response when she was asked a second time.
Do you recall testifying under oath to this jury that your fight on December 2nd was about Lindsay, your anger at Lindsay, and you being told you couldn't go on the Miami trip?
My anger was at Stefan. I never said my anger was at Lindsay.
So then the defense attorney tried to ask her a third time, hey, you just said the fight was over the Miami trip. Now you've changed that story and say it was about money. Which is it?
My recollection, it was true. We did discuss money.
Ms. Adams, you just testified under oath about what happened on December 2nd.
Okay, I also did put in a police report our sexual relationship.
So obviously she was caught in a lie and couldn't just cop to it and say, all right, busted. I told the police one thing and I said something else to the jury. Now, it also didn't help the prosecution's case that their star witness apologized to Stefan Diggs in text messages about the way she acted on the night of the alleged assault that didn't really happen.
If you men have been, if you've been victimized by false accusations, I had one guy put one. I want all the guys that are listening to add a one if you've been victimized by false accusations. And you can also put in the chat how it has derailed and destroyed your life.
News out of the NFL here on Tuesday where Stefan.
You can talk about how it has derailed and destroyed your life. I'm going to try to find this other video, guys. In the meantime, I want you guys to look at this clip. In the meantime, hold tight.
I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
To exclusively marry black men. We are in the middle of a crisis. Black men are in crisis. And anybody who denies that black men are in crisis is ignoring the data, the science, the research, the statistics. It is not a figment of your imagination that there are not enough eligible black men to marry.
It's been an honor serving with you all. Autobots, roll out. We rolling.
Nanobots, transform.
She lie on them brothers, separate uncles and nephews and cousins and try to pin us against mothers. How you a woman but ain't got a man for protection, but you undercover? How do you think that we suffer? Thought we were sisters and brothers. Now you get birthed in the gutter. When they rap, they the same ones that cut you. Be the same ones who yelling they love you. Be the same ones who calling me nigga. After that, wanna say I'm his brother. Yeah, she lie on them brothers. 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 So all going on in your man, you don't get it. And using your women as splitters, then hit us. Put you in place and our family ruin. Target your boys, you don't see what they doing. We gotta beat them, you wanna join them, we just leave them. Your feminist feminism, more like treason. Politics, you don't even follow leaders. First is master, probably cause of your Jesus.
God is white. Isn't it obvious? Well, that is obvious, but we don't know if it's obvious that God is white. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Jesus did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the images of Jesus that are on prison walls and churches throughout the world are not historically correct, because history teaches us that Jesus was born in a region where the people had color. There's proof in the very Bible that you ask us to read in Revelations 1st chapter, verse 14 and 15, that Jesus had hair like wool and feet the color of brass. Just what are you saying? I'm not saying anything. I'm proving to you that Jesus was not. And I might quote one of our Indian brothers, he was not a pale-face.
This would have been a dick, you been believe it. You reap the benefits from your achievements. Penitentiary, all we get is deleted. But God on our side, baby, we gon' beat it. She down them brothers. She down them brothers.
I've been on you. I'm the biggest, baddest.
Separate uncles and nephews and cousins and try to pin us against mothers. How you a woman but ain't got a man for protection, but you undercover? How do you think that we suffer? Thought we were sisters and brothers. Now you get birthed in the gutter. When they rap, they the same ones that cut you. Be the same ones who yelling they love you. Be the same ones who calling me nigga. After that, wanna say I'm his brother. She down the brothers. 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 She down the brothers.
Break up all these black men with what? And they don't give a fuck. Yeah, this man hit me with fucking grabbed a rock and it hit me in my fucking face because I would have given him my number. And all y'all just fucking watch. Y'all see that shit? Y'all see that shit? What are y'all gonna do? I want y'all to be a man. I want y'all to be a man and fucking do something. Y'all gonna let a man hit me in my face.
Roll out. Transform. 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 Roll out.
You're going to change the law in your mind. Shout out to Mr. Palmer for saying that. You can't change the laws until you change the laws in your mind first. And you change the laws in your mind by realizing that your masculinity is too expensive. As I said before in the past, do not give your masculinity away for free in the name of skin color. The master teacher said, "Who is my brother?" And then he retorted by saying, "He that does the will of the Father, that's who my brother is." Just because these women got black skin don't mean they're your sisters. It doesn't mean that they're your women. Because women that are your women protect black interests first. They protect the interests of men, children, girls, boys first. They don't protect their own interests first. And that's what the major problem is. Some of you have been so devastated by being indoctrinated to think like women, you sabotage your masculinity over and over and over again. And that's why I said, guys, I feel that it's over. It's over. We're not ever going back to...
What did you respond to Stefan on December 11th? And this is now 9 days after you were assaulted, supposedly.
I was assaulted. It wasn't supposedly.
What did you respond to Steph?
Was very emo. Sorry I made you feel that way. I don't want to leave. I want to stay to take care of you as long as I need you.
And you sent him a second message.
Really sorry, Steph.
Then, like, another bombshell happened. She admitted that on December 9th, around midnight, she went back to Stefan Diggs' home, walked upstairs, knocked on his bedroom door, trying to get in. And you got to remember, this is after she was almost allegedly killed by Stefan Diggs.
So on December 9th, round about midnight, when you got back to his house alone, you went and knocked on his door, right?
Yes.
And he didn't open it?
I didn't knock. I tried to get in the door.
Okay, you tried to walk into his door.
No, that's how I would go in his room. I would unlock his door.
Sure, just like always, right?
When he needs food and his door was closed, I would go in his room.
Right.
I never went in his room without permission.
You going in there on December 9th is no different than any other day, right? And when you weren't able to get in, you actually sent him a text message, right?
Yes.
And you told him, can you read what you told him?
I was coming to ask you what time you have to be at work and to say hi.
Then she was caught up in another lie. She said she had quit on December 2nd.
I mean, constantly lying. Constantly lying. And like I said, every man ain't going to keep taking lies and false accusations. Some men going to take the law into their own hands and be willing to lose it all. Some of you women better stop lying on men because it might be your own fate. I'm not endorsing homicide. I'm not endorsing homicide. But I'm just telling you that you better watch your back, because some men are not going to take it, white or black. They're just going to take your life. They're going to have their own system of justice. They're just going to take your life. And to you women that are listening, you need to start speaking up.
But come to find out, she came back a couple of days later and continued working.
Did you tell Officer Ellis, after the alleged assault on 12/2/2025, Adams left her position and left the residence to stay with a friend in New York?
Left my position mean I left to get on a plane and go. I didn't tell them I quit. That didn't mean that I quit.
You didn't quit?
No.
On several days of that week, you simply kept doing your job, right?
And asking for my pay.
That's a yes or no question now.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You kept doing your job.
Yes.
Officer Ellis was wrong when he wrote that you left your position on 12/2.
I left the house, so him putting position didn't mean that I left my job as a chef. I left the house.
Now, if you're like me, we're all thinking the same thing. This is a gold digger who was looking for a come up, right? She was looking to become a millionaire. So she's on the stand and she's got to make herself look that she is pure as an angel. So she's like, no, I was just looking for the money he owed me, which is about $19,000. But she failed to tell the jury that she had demanded through her lawyers $5.5 million from Stephon Diggs to make this whole thing go away.
Ms. Adams, 3 weeks ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from Stephon Diggs, correct?
That is client lawyer privilege. I cannot speak on that.
You believe that your lawyer's communications to Stephon Diggs are covered by your attorney-client privilege, ma'am?
I can't answer that question. I don't know the answer to that question.
You know that someone on your behalf has demanded $5.5 million from Stephon Diggs, don't you?
I have a workers' comp claim, and
Your Honor?
I explore all civil options.
Ma'am.
Now she got the whole flu. She got the whole flu. Now she can't remember. She got client privilege now, guys. She got the whole flu, and now she got client privilege. And this is your queen. This is your queen.
I don't understand.
Are you able to answer that question?
No, I'm
Counsel,
not
restate
able
the
to.
question, please. You know that someone on your behalf has demanded $5.5 million from Stephon Diggs. Do you know that, Ms. Adams?
No. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer the question.
Always lying to me. Why? You lying so much. Why? You making it hard for me.
Always lying. Never want to take accountability. And like I said, you got women on the sideline that know she's lying. But if you know she's lying and you're not saying anything about it, ladies, you are complicit. If you don't speak up, you are complicit. I did this show 4 years ago, guys, and I said that black men won't come back until they march, and I stand on that. That's why I don't get caught by this black community nonsense, because I said it back then, and I'm saying the same thing now. Your masculinity is too expensive to give away for free. I don't believe in this nonsense that black men, this job ain't for every man. Well, you're right. It's not for every man. It's for ignorant men that are compromised and that are simps. Masculine men don't give their power without demanding something in return. The only time you give your service to a woman is she's serving you, honoring you, and respecting your leadership and obeying you as a man. You don't give that away for free because you're rewarding bad behavior. I said this years ago, and as a licensed therapist, I know what I'm talking about.
Dusty Brown. Get out of here, new troops. Can't you see these people?
Sit back, relax, and enjoy this show as I bring it to you live from the greatest state in the union. And you had women back then like Fannie Lou Hamer that was worthy of you putting your life on the line for. Fannie Lou Hamer said, that's why I want to change Mississippi. You don't run away from problems, you just face them. Yes, I've been going through some things lately. I'm not going to run from it, I'm going to run to it. And I'm going to look at it head on. And I'm going to fight. And if I lose, so be it. But I refuse to be a coward hiding or like an ostrich with my head in the sand. I would rather die fighting than to be a coward. Fannie Lou Hamer said, I've been in jail and I've been beat. I've been to a voter registration workshop. You know, they were just training and teaching us how to register to pass a literacy test. Those are the kind of women that you fight for. Those are the kind of women that you give your servitude to. Women that will support you and fight with you against injustice. Not women that align themselves up with liberal policies, liberal white women that seek to destroy black men and the black family or innocent white men. The Tar Heel state. And I need you guys to understand this, as Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed a lot more if they did not already know that they were slaves. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male and understand how the political framework play a role in the shaping and the emasculation of black men is paramount as we strive to have a more perfect union as it relates to male empowerment. Enjoy this show. Be well.
Listen up, parents. Want to start building generational wealth and happiness for your children in less than 10 minutes?
I was talking this stuff, guys, 4 years ago. I ain't new to this. I'm true to it. I was talking this 4 years ago. This was a classic. Until They March. I'm going to play some clips of it. All right, guys. It's a pleasure to have you guys in the house tonight because we're going to have a very powerful conversation on tonight talking about we're going to steal their asses back. Shout out to Courtney Michelle. Much love and blessings to that sister. I had the pleasure to meet Courtney when I was in Atlanta. Very kind sister, very respectful. And before we start this show, this is not an indictment to her or any other person that's trying to start a movement of saving the black community. I'm not like... And listen, I've been talking this for the last 4 years, and that's when I thought I was on good terms with this woman. So this show is not to talk about her. So let me be real clear. I ain't got nothing, her and I have had words in the past, but this was 4 years ago. So I'm not here to assail her. This is my premise is that even though this video was 4 years ago, black men cannot march or support anything until they get their respect as men. And I would tell a white man that too. Against it per se, I just think there are some errors with it as relates to historically how we more or less treated our men. And then more recently, guys, you saw it and I saw it. They say no voting, no vucking. And see, when you hear these kind of idioms or idiosyncrasies, what it does to me is this. It says that, there's a such thing called static blackness. And static blackness more or less says that all black men think the same, that we are more or less a monolith, and we all think the same, we all act the same, we all ascribe to the same ideologies. And on the night, we're going to more or less explore the show that Shay did with Courtney. And I respect Courtney for her temerity. I respect her for her passion. One would say it's cute that she has a profound love for black men and the community because all for their despicable. For honorable and conduct themselves in a feminine way. Are you willing to do the necessary requisite work to cover, love, and protect, and die for that woman? Because see, watch this, men that are chivalrous don't mind giving their all for their woman. But see, we don't have women like Fannie Lou Hamer that was a ride or die for her man. We don't have liberators like Harriet Tubman that believe in the power of community, but not only did they believe in the power of community, they believed that there was a manifest destiny by black people because we were forced into oneness to rise above systemic racism and Jim Crow racism. Harriet Tubman believed in that. But Harriet Tubman was a soldier for the cause. She was not a soldier for herself. She was a soldier for the cause and the liberation of black people. And I'm going to say it again, until they march, you cannot ask black men to come back and serve. Yeah, until they march. I was talking this 4 years ago with that kosher swag. I was talking this 4 years ago. I'm not marching, neither should you. We're not saving anything until we get cooperation and respect. And even then, some of the men are already gone. Some of the men have already checked out. Some of the men have already checked out. And I'm going to end this, guys, in a few minutes. But I just want to add something to the conversation in a few minutes. Hold tight.
Inferior and also subjugating position, because I call it the commodification of subjugation. You want black men to come back and be subjugates, but what are you giving them in return? Because see, what your granddaddy got is not what black men are getting now. Now, to you men that got low standards, if you want to stay here and serve and be, plantation cotton pickers, then you can stay. Because see, I'm not against you if your standards are low. But to the brothers that got high standards and they believe in fidelity, they believe in respect, I challenge you to tell them until they march, don't expect black men to come back and give their service for free, because see, our service is not free. The struggles of men in this world is hard. Nobody hears our pain. Nobody hears our story. I was listening to Uncle Stu a couple of times, and he talked about several times how he was more or less a victim of domestic violence. But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about men, as I said earlier, that are homeless. We don't talk about false accusations. We don't talk about the disparities in the courts. We don't talk about it. But you want black men to come back and give their power, and give their resources, give their time, give their attention, and give their body to a community they have never, or more or less don't support them. There have been many men that have graduated with high honors and went to school like myself, and they never got support from that said black community. But you want taxation without representation. And what I'm trying to tell you, black men are saying, until you march, you cannot expect us to more or less lift up our hands and give you the best when you're not more or less willing to subject yourself to the cause of men and male rights. Because, see, our struggles are too expensive. And me and you need to start telling these.
Yeah. I was talking this stuff. I didn't realize I had said this. I've been saying this for years. And, this is a throwback class 4 years ago. And it must be in my kosher mind. But your manhood is too expensive to give away for free. That's why I can't resonate with Dontre Whitfield. He said this job ain't for everybody. You're right, it ain't for everybody. And no disrespect to Dontre Whitfield. It ain't for everybody. It's for simps. It's for gravy train simps. But you're right, it ain't for everybody. Because I'm not giving my power, time, resources, and my body away for free. I'm not doing it. The only way I would do that is to women that deserve it. That's why people that have been talking this community talk, they talk and then they fade off into obscurity, because I know, and everybody else know it's not going to get better in our lifetime. This was 4 years ago, guys. I've been on YouTube for almost 5 years now, and it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse.
Women, my standards are too expensive, because they'll tell you in a heartbeat that I'm too expensive for you. And you need to tell them too, I'm too expensive. You think I'm going to come back and give my best to a community that have not given us anything in return. You need to tell them that my service is too expensive. Because see, guys, I went to a historically black college. I went to North Carolina Central University. And I did Courtney went to Tennessee State. And I went to PWI, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And I get it. She has a passion for her people. She went to a historically black college, and I respect the sister for it. I do. I respect her highly for it. But I'm also passionate about the avocation.
But this is before she started. And listen, this show is not about her. Her and I had words. I ain't got nothing against this woman. She said what she said. She was very disrespectful. But I had to give her that work, because I guess she thought she was going to be disrespectful and I was going to take it. No, sweetie. Your mouth gets slick with me. You'll get this work. You can, because I'm very creative with my mouth. I can get very creative. So if you talk trash to me, I'm not going to sit back and be the educated lane. I'm going to publicly eviscerate you. I don't like doing that. But once again, the whole purpose of this old show that I'm sharing with you guys, and I'm going to end it in a few minutes, is that you cannot reward bad behavior, and you can't give your masculinity away for free. This is parallel to what Dontre Whitfield was saying about what men do and what males do. Well, listen, we got to most folks in the black community, when they come down to the women, they're not women or ladies, they're females, and you do have a lot of males. But real men don't give their power away for free. Real men demand something in return, because masculine leadership, masculine protection comes with a price.
Black men and also black power. And we can't talk about black love until we talk about respect, because see, watch this. Love for a man is not a feeling, guys. Love for a man is about respect and honor and duty and obedience. That's what respect for a man is. But see, watch this. You got women now that don't even believe in calling you their husband. They'll call you their partner. They don't call you husband. They'll say partner, because see, partner is based on liberal indoctrination that's based off of egalitarianism that's tied into what's called Marxism. And so they'll say, oh, you're my partner. No, you're not my partner, woman. I'm the man. I'm the husband. and you are my wife. And my mission is to guide you, love you, protect you, and die for you. But it ain't gonna be no partner, boo. You ain't my partner. We're not in the law firm. You're my wife. And that's how old school black men did. I'm from the old school. My mom and dad are still married. My parents been married for over 50 years. But see, so many of you young men have never seen masculinity in its raw form that you always broker power. You broker power because you part of the new breed generation. You younger brothers are neophytes. You don't know how much power that you have. But I'm trying to tell you guys that if you want to know and you want a woman to honor and respect you, you got to stand in power. Now, to the guys, if you plan to donate on tonight, I don't have my phone. I got to find my phone. You can always donate at Cash App $7 Smalls if you like the content. Donate to Cash App $7 Smalls because YouTube takes 30% of my earnings, and it's always better to donate through Cash App. I appreciate it. But in the meantime, let me read you some of these things, guys, because I haven't been reading these comments, man, and I'm gonna check out what everybody's saying. Paul Johnson said, "Give us tangibles to come back to the community." Yes, sir. And guys, if you want your comments read tonight, because I can't read you all this stuff, the best way to read your comments is send a super chat, or also you can send a Cash App if you want to read comments that are pertinent to the conversation. Andrew Baker said that they won't march for a man unless it benefits them. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Andrew Baker. You're right, brother. They won't march for a man unless it benefits them. James Wingate say, I say, do not come back until they change the laws. That's what I'm saying, James Wingate. And shout out James Wingate for that $2 super chat. I appreciate it, bro. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Palmer said, you got to change the law in your mind. You got to change the law in your mind, and you got to remember how you were treated, not only by your community when you was on your ascension, but also the respect that you've never gotten as a man. Until they march, don't ask black men to come back into a spirit of servitude. Don't ask them, because, see, blackness is not static. Blackness is not static. It never was static. When we were in Africa, it was not static. There were many tribes and many ethnic tribes and ethnic origins and nationalities. It was many of them. And they all spoke different language. But see, when we came to America, we were forced into oneness. I might even write a book called Forced into Oneness. We were forced into oneness. We were forced to become one. We were forced to say, what's up, sister, and what's up, brother. But that oneness had been more or less greatly marginalized because our women have been compromised by liberal dogma, and they don't want to give up the power. So black men are not coming back, unless they're weak men, until you give us something that's worthy to come back to. Because, see, everybody demands something. In this last election, when you had Vivica Fox did not, and Lisa Ray did not see themselves as part of the black collective. They saw themselves as entities outside of the black community. They didn't say what's in for black families. They said what's in for themselves. And that's a problem, guys, where you vote for yourself instead of voting for your community, but you expect black men to come back in the spirit of servitude. That's an offense. And to you men that are listening, you will be less than a man to not demand anything until they march. Because, see, watch this. If you don't make her earn it, she'll never respect you as a man. She got to earn that relationship. She got to put in sweat equity. She got to follow your program. You got to make her jump through hoops. Because, see, guys, when you lose your money, when you lose your livelihood, when you lose everything, your status, it's a great distress to your mind when you go through scenarios and situations like that. So until she marched, until she talked to the senators, until she talked to the judges, until she said, change these child support laws, change all these different laws, then I can't expect black men to come back in a spirit of servitude. Shout out to my man, James Wingate again. He said UNC wins again, no doubt. Earlier again, no doubt. Thank you, brother, for that super chat.
When you lie down to sleep, your muscles relax. And in many people, that includes the lower jaw. It shifts backward and narrows the airway in your throat. Picture a straw. If it bends too much, nothing gets through. That's what happens when your jaw relaxes and falls backward during sleep. It pinches your airway like a kinked hose, restricting airflow and cutting off oxygen to the brain, leading to interrupted breathing and disrupted sleep. Many treatments try to solve this problem from the outside in. CPAP machines, nasal strips, breathing devices, but none of them fix what's actually happening inside. The structural collapse caused by the jaw falling.
Andrew Baker said many brothers are not wasting their time anymore with these uncorrupted black women. No doubt, brother. I totally agree with you 1,000%. Barry Hamilton said that there needs to be terms of reference as to what men need respectfully to return to a broken community to fix it. Also having to deal with women that are determined to keep men in their place. That's it, brother, right? They want to keep you in your place. They want you guys to be rest. They want you to be rest. They want your resources. They want your attention, and they want your time and security for box that they gave to Raekwon, Man, they sure Mike, and also Lorenzo for free. They gave it to him for free. So you're not getting nothing special. You're not getting a virgin. You're not getting a woman that don't have kids by multiple men. You're not getting anything special. And I want to make sure I say this because I'm not here to denigrate women with multiple kids. If you're a woman that understands you make mistakes and you're trying to change, I would say to those women, you should always try to go back to your father, to the kid's father, if you can. If you guys can be reconcilable, reconcile the relationship. But my problem is what I have an issue with is women that have multiple kids and they're very entitled. They're very entitled, and they think that they deserve men that have no kids and men that put in the work. You don't deserve those kind of men. No more than a man that's lazy. He doesn't have a vision. He's fat. He don't do anything else. That man doesn't deserve a woman of quality. But see, anytime men say what they want, then it's cultural Marxism. You got to shut men up because men can't have standards. We're supposed to take any damn thing. We're supposed to take chicks with bad attitudes, bad hygiene, morbid obesity. We're supposed to take it. And I told you guys that's not healthy for you mentally when you deal with stuff like that. That's not healthy for a man mentally. And that's why I'm so passionate about seeing you men get the best. Because see, watch this. Many men from Gen X, many boomers, they didn't have what we have. They didn't have advocates. They didn't have men that allowed them to talk and to share their stories and their pain. They didn't have nobody to talk to them. And that's why I do this, because as a licensed professional, it's not a lot of people talking about the struggles of men, especially black men, from a masculine perspective. I'm going to share something with you guys. I've always been an independent thinker. I've never listened to the masses. I'm a man of my own volition. I do what I want to do. I'm a man. I'm a masculine man. I'm a dominant man. I respect all men, but I bow to none. It's not a man on this planet that in my mind is better than me. When I apply myself, it's not too many that can see me. So I'm very confident because that's that Leo swag that I got. I don't feel like nobody can see me when I apply myself. I don't believe that nobody's mouthpiece is crisp as mine when I apply myself. I don't believe that nobody is brilliant as me when I apply myself. And you should have that same confidence too. And the thing that I try to do, I try to back it up because the proof is in the pudding. I live for the moment. I live for the victory, guys. That's what I live for. And so should you. The spectacle of masculinity has been on display with this guy, Saucy Santana. And that's what our women more or less like. They like weak men like that are not a threat to their power base. But see, when you masculine men say what you want and what you demand, they say, oh, you're toxic, your mom is black.
And not only Saucy Santana, but that fruit of Funky DeNevo, whatever his name is.
They say all kinds of goofy stuff, which is reverse psychology or psychological warfare to get you off your game. But see, Bruce Lee guys said it better than me because they're coming, and these elections in these next a couple of weeks are going to get very tenuous, to say the least. But when they try to get you to get back and more or less fall back in line, because Maxine Wallace in the last election said that black men need to fall in line. Remember, a woman telling you what to do. If your grandfather didn't build the infrastructure, she wouldn't have the microphone to talk on. If men, white men and black men didn't build the internet or come together and build the infrastructures in general, the women that denigrate and more or less try to corral men to do what they want them to do, you would be nothing without the platforms that black men or men in general created. Because even the greatest black male, greatest black architect, it took years to become a great nation. There was a carbon copy, and we replicated that carbon copy year and generation after generation, and we made that carbon copy better. The first car went from being a horse and a buggy to now being an electric car, but it took time to refine that. And so when people just think, well, I can just come in and, when I can do it, no, you can't do it, boo. You can't do it. And if you did do it, it would take generations. You would be less than third world if you relied on this saying, women in general to rebuild the infrastructures. You got some men that can't even do it. But like I said, now logic and common sense, guys, has been thrown to the wind. S. Move the God said that black men need to leave and not come back for 60 years. It's up to the generation of young blacks to decide they want a black community. By then, it will be finished. I totally agree. Shout out to my man, Top Gun. Top Gun said that me personally, I don't need them to march. I just ask them to run that unstoppable wide receiver route. Dude, you crazy, man. 304 law, XOXO. Shout out to the sniper Top Gun. Top Gun always being goofy, man. That's my homie, man. Shout out to Top Gun. That's my homeboy, man. And then also shout out to my man Juan. Juan said old school communists said that their revolution will occur by destroying the family. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Juan. Anybody have never read the book, go read the book, The Naked Communist. That's why I said that people that have these genuine or noble sentiments, they mean well, but it's deeper than what you think it is. The cancer of America has metastasized to level 4. It's level 4. It's a level 4 carcinoma there, guys. It's a level 4. And he said the entitled women don't realize they're playing right into the leftist hand. You're right, brother. And that's a deal, right? They are playing right into the leftist hand. You're right. They are playing right into it. And also, because you are the #1 sponsor of the stream, brother, I appreciate what you're doing. You're the #1 sponsor of the stream, Brother Juan. Thank you.
I've noticed profound differences from taking things that increase nitric oxide, but I've never been able to block ET1 before.
We have something in our body that the endothelial cells produce, which is a vasoconstrictor, and that's called ET1. In addition to increasing the nitric oxide, we reduce the bad stuff, which is the ET1, and we showed in vitro the ability to reduce ET1 by 50%.
Now you're going to have a young person's level of nitric oxide. It's a great product.
Shout out to my man James Wright for that $5 cash app. I appreciate it. Scholar says, salute to you, Kosher. What is your take on Chantel Simone has been pointing out? What is your take on something Chantel Simone has been pointing out? How a number of single baby mama female content creators are pushing for black men doing the saving. Interesting. Well, listen.
It's a bet, right? That's a deal, right?
I know it. Form of prostitution, you're not gonna give them sex. So it's a change. You got to give me something in exchange in order to get sex. And the exchange is voting. So it's called barter because prostitution is based on a barter system. Many times it's based on money. But also women will barter their bodies for resources as well. It's not always money, but many times it is money. So when you tell a man no voting, no fucking, well, black men can say, okay, fine, I'm just gonna get my passport, that blue book, and I'm just going to travel abroad, get my swag game up, and I'm going to deal with women that are more feminine, that are more traditional, that are more submissive, that are more kind, because I've heard some men tell me, they said that the foreign whore is better than the average American woman. That's what they told me. I don't know how true it is. So men that say I'm going to do what's best for me, and that's what you should do, men. You should never answer to any men about what you do with your life. You are a man. You're not no cream puff. You are a man. You got testosterone coursing in your veins. But some of you guys got so much estrogen that you don't know any better because you burnt out, you stressed out. You go home frustrated. You're not getting your rest. It's never enough. She tell you, you don't make enough. You don't make 6 figures. but yet she's not chaste. She got kids by multiple men. She's not a virgin, but she'll tell you don't make 6 figures. It makes no sense. But see, I don't let women damn tell me how to run my life and what she asks. I really don't care because I know what my worth is. And see, when you know what your worth is as men, you can change or reverse the psychology they're trying to implement or more or less implicate on you. You got the power to change that. But I'm gonna show you guys something real quick because, like I said, I'm a man and you should be men as well. You should live.
Not actuaries. His freeform social media posts give the impression of a man
I've been talking like this for years. And this is what happens when men don't get the respect and honor they deserve. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I wasn't going to stream today, but 2 hours is enough. I'm not going to do no 4-hour stream, 3-hour stream. It's just too long. And it hurts the retention rate. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I'll be coming back soon, guys. I might be back on Monday night with a special guest. So make sure you guys share the stream. I need about 5 people to share the stream. But also, guys, I need y'all to hype this video. I need somebody to hype the video so we can get this thing in the algorithm, man. So I appreciate it. Don't be a Stefan Diggs, and don't give your power away, guys, until they march. We're going to be signing off. And thank you guys once again for tuning in. Be well.
Tell them run it off. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch. Tell them run it off. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies.
Fire! Kosher Clinician.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.